Load and search. Did I say lurch? Should I have been shaven? Pretend this movie or this diagram or fram or whatever frame of fram we're in, even if you're changing your oil, it can be fram oil filters. From today till tomorrow, get one of these in French and call it a diaphragm, because that's what they are together. Get your oil changed. Should I show you part of the video I did? Should I go and shave and cut the hair? Because I'm starting to grow a little hair here. Trying all kinds of fertilizers, but they keep saying you're no longer connected to the spirit right over here. It has taken up your whole head, and now your head glows. We no longer need the hair to fully connect the energies with spirit. Others still need the hair because they need that extra connection. What should we call it? Let us call it fiber optics. Did you know that I can't really understand if I feel my hair or I don't? But the minute I put my finger on it, oh boy, I feel my hair. Oh yeah, feel my hair for sure. Yeah, feel my ear too. Didn't feel my ear. Now I feel my ears. I put my hands on my ears and I feel my ears. It's pretty weird, eh? Plug them up. Wow, my ears are cold. Turn off the air conditioning. It's got to be 65 in there. It's the only number I can give them, 56 or 65. Otherwise, I'm disconnected. 514-516-615. Where are we going? Where is the train going in creation? Because 6 and 5 are the only two numbers that can come as close to the next side as they are at the beginning. When it's all about go. When you hold on to where you are, and you hold on to the other side, but instead of that, you don't do that at all. You put a round circle around your body, like a hula hoop, and it catches you in the bottom. Then you put a hula hoop on the other side, then you connect them together all at the waist. Now you've got one over to your first 10, then you got one over to your minus first 10, which is 30, which is in jail. Somehow, when you go 10 from go and you're holding those hula hoops, whoever's at the end, whoops! This guy's over here visiting jail, but this guy has fallen into jail, and he went down the chute all the way to the other side, and look what the ropes did on my hula hoop. Now what the heck do you think I look like? I look like I've been split into 4. I'm some sort of hex man. In love. Do you see the arrow? Do you see the sword that fits right over here? You see the sword? Well, look at my nose. Isn't that sword good enough? If I flip my nose over or put my nose underneath, doesn't it fit? Mr. Tacpans, where are you going? That's not even your real name. That's just a name. Like God. God was playing against the devil. Lo and behold, I didn't know they were on Poker Stars. They were playing online. It was a long time ago, before time existed, when time was in the future. Future from what we know and the basic knowledge of man has much of a future, but has never even seen the reality of future. When you sit in your chair, but all your chair is doing is sitting on the air. The molecules of air upon air is what you breathe. 8 is 6, 3 and 3 is 8. Well, you add it up. I'm going to show you. Let's begin. 3, well, that's 4. So I'll turn it around once, and that's 3. Well, I'll just turn this one around once, twice, and that's 4. So if we turn it this way, 3, 4, and this way, 3, 4, somehow it's magic. 5 on the outside, 5 on the outside. What's on the inside? 2. 2 and 2. We crack the eggs open. What do we get? 2 sides of the eggs. Do you put a point on this? Even though it has only a single point, when it's turning around, just like somebody showed me the other day, when it's turning around, right, no matter where that point is, at one time, when you stop and go the other way, that point might stick up and go this way. So the minute it sticks up and does this way, it creates that line and barrier. It's like cleaning the snow and calling it angels. Mr. Tacpans, why are you acting that way? You're so faggy. Faggy? Hold on a second. Faggy, I know they're into some kind of construction. Is that what faggy's all about? Maggie. No, that was Maggie. Oh my God. Do you remember Maggie May? Do you remember any Maggie of any day? Because I said it must be in the genes. How M&M came together to become more than DNA. Motherly love. I'm sort of growing into you, DNA strands, before time ever existed, but when you re-exist them, you see the part that the evil is getting confused in this world, and I have to say this, even if I can be wrong, it's a story, and I'm going to be right in the story. You have to make sure that I'm wrong. You're going to have to look and rewind this video to see whether or not I'm wrong. It's almost like he dropped the ball. We're going to recheck the play. Is it a drop ball? Was it a caught ball? Was he out of bounds? Did the clock stop? And I'm going to tell you that the DNA was surgically sewn together before it was. And possibility, before blue became blue, it was something else. But they made it to become blue, and they gave it a special number because it was a joint situation when the elements came to town. Now, none of that has to be true at all. Mr. Tacpans, tell them numbers. Tell them numbers. Okay. What does that say? 80 pages. I counted them. There's only 40. So they said 8 by 11 is too big. It should have been folded, the book. That way each page would have 4 sides instead of having 2 sides. Then you'd have your 80. So they're actually telling you the rectangular world is not the way it should be. It should be folded. It should have ended at this dot or on the other side of this dot. You know what I'm saying? Where is the top? It's 1 inch above. You always lose the top piece until you get to the top. Follow? Little white, a little blue. Little blue shows no lines because all the lines are lost in blue, and I put on these glasses to block it from me as you'd like to block it from you. It's the hydroelectric air pumped in by some frozen ice of some sort that gets into us, and everything looks like it's lit up. At night I can't see it, it's too dark, but during the day it's too bright. Is there any time? I don't know, there's too many shadows around. The heat, the force of the light energy emanating between each other makes it looks like it's an hallucination that they're all together in one, when they're actually just one is transporting to the other and going back into its area. Or the energies are screwing within each other, and at the end they move to the back or to the side. Tick, 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 tick. Bubble saga. Mr. Tacpans, you're losing it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to bring to you a bunch of little things, what I'm going to be doing, and then we're going to bump into the days of the week. Sunday is not the day of the week, it's Monday. But Monday says my day, and every time I go into work, it's everybody else's day too. So I guess Monday you share. Then we go to Tuesday, and I chose to go into work to be with everybody that was there, and I chose my lunch, but I didn't choose everything on that day because I had traffic in front of me. But I did choose to drive, but I was well aware that I would have to substitute my greediness and keeping going first all the time with nobody interrupting me while I'm going, while I listen to the music and I type a little text message to my friend as I do a video for Mr. Tacpans. I want to say hi to the world. What the hell are you doing, Mr. Tacpans? There's some new people out there, they don't know who you are. They come on here, people say, wow, watch this guy, he's amazing, he knows all the numbers. All the numbers tell a story from the Bible, from dinosaurs. If you tell me part of what you think of that the story is, I can continue on in your area and then defect to my area and take you with me. Nothing is actually true unless you think it is, unless we are a lot of people and we were taking votes to the percentage of how much people think it's true or not, does not mean whether or not it's any truer, just a belief. 1 and 1 is 2 because we made it up that way. But it didn't always have to be 1 and 1, it was 2. Because 1 and 1 when we got together was actually 3. There was the division between the two. There was the two of them together and their individuality. So what did we actually just do right now? If we give them both a question, they're both going to have the same question, right? And that's if I ask it by computer, and that depends what time it is. If he's looking at the clock and he says 3:48, and the question is all about 8, he might get a little confused. The number, the numerology, sports and numbers, musical codes and notes and numbers. Morse code. Why Morse? Why the cat? How the cow? My picture is falling down. I have to continue that picture over there. I'm almost done. You see the two of them? They almost look alike. But one is by hand. Anyways, the cow and the horse. Their nostrils are the same. They look the same. You ever touch a cow's nose? It's like ding, 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 ding. And a horse, it's like you can feel their nostrils. You can almost give them an earring. I'm surprised no horse owner has ever plugged a hole in a horse's nose. The elephant, it's for his size, because a pig and an elephant, their nose is like the same. They got like a D on each side. Double D's, anybody? Yeah, I'm a gray. I'm an elephant. Well, I'm a pink pig. No, I'm an elephant. Well, I'm a gray. I'm a pink pig. So lately, have you been hovering around the pink? A little bit of blue, dark blue, turning into a light gray? The news and the networks. How do you want me to tell this one, boss? Make it up as you go. Read off the cards, I'll let you know you're a natural, my friend. Number 92, 9 times 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. 9 times 2 is 18. Raish, spirit, angel, and man. An arsehole, basically in the numbers. No, that's what they say. Well, what am I going to do? It's right here. Okay, it's arse mass. But that doesn't matter because you got an arse up your ass. The X. The hanging part. If you never thought you had anything hanging out of your body, then you are insane. You're respirating inside, but what have you known to it as let's breathe in the air? But your ass, especially when you fart. I'm sorry, ladies. But if we don't tell the whole story in this movie, what would you like me to use? A special movie? When you let gas. When it runs, when it starts to run, when you're overflowing and you're running out your rear end, you're backfiring like a car. It's the back of your ass, man. Hey, man, excuse me. Like if I knew nothing, I go up to the guy and say, excuse me, man. He said, what do you have in your pocket? I keep hearing noise come out of your ass. The energy that we get in of Matrix, and the minute you go to the bathroom, the minute the holes open up, you have now connected the exterior with the interior of your body when blood reaches the air, for example. Let's go on to the next page. Oh, page? The next page? Well, that wouldn't be right. This is the page I was on, and this is the back side of that same page. So, like, I must be tricking myself, because that's the next page of the same page in all reality. I don't want to lie. I want to tell the truth, and if I had the capabilities of seeing a different vision as I turn my page, I'm going to tell you how I can see it. I hope you can see it. You see what it says? It's like a lifeguard. The letter configuration of confusion to understand the difference in confinement, to contest, to cause, to impress. 5. These are the words inside the other words. Or an addition. Or the rendition of a new word. A new word heard absurd. So soon she was. So suave they were. Sounds like the Mojave Desert. Okay, so where am I now? I have to get a little bit to drink. What do you think I should have? I got juice in the fridge. I got apple juice. Try and figure it out. Oh, it just said ACE. 1356 on the computer. I'm not allowed to talk anymore. Figure out why? Yeah, just wanted to play with you. Oh, not only am I getting something to drink, okay, but I forgot that I still had a coffee. Now, I don't even know what's real anymore. I do not know what the system has infected, what hasn't been touched, and did they absolutely have to do what they did to our vegetables for other reasons than exactly giving us GMOs? Maybe, have you ever thought that the entire universe has now picked up a new infection that will be here in 7,000 years? This infection that comes will come and will be here in 7,000 years. If the air around us changes and the molecules by natural sense come together, when I say natural sense come together, I'm saying when the new universe naturally comes together. You see, no matter who the creator is, can anybody actually own space? Can you give space a ticket? Can you take space away? What can you do with space? How can you control space unless you put something there and make judgment upon it? Taking and putting and taking. But the universe is only going to fall for what you can't catch. And for whatever you catch, you will change because you are touching it in your system, in your time, not in real time. Only the universe and the mix is in real time. For whatever calculates to fall wherever it does, that's what we had to do in order to manipulate the universe in real time. So 7,000 years from now, there's going to be a bacteria out there. They already basically know what it is because somehow they were able to pick up whatever molecule it is. It might be a little tiny thing, and that in 7,000 years, this little tiny thing will be actually some sort of cancerous disease. Either A, it's that, or they create it themselves, and that'll do just as good. What the hell? If it's going to be here in 7,000 years, may as well create that cancer gene. Let's create it now so we can find out how to cure it now. And oh my God, we tried it on a rat, and the rat got into the sewer, and he shit in the garden, and somebody ate some garden food, and they shared the garden food, but it didn't matter because 25 years went by, but she gave birth to a child who had cancer. Because of the rat that was in your laboratory that got into the grounds. Why? Because the rat breathed. Because the rat shit. Whatever you put on the ground will always find a way to continue on its life until it dies out and is regenerated in another way. Things are passed on continuously. Now I have a little piece here I'm going to do. I'm eating this, and again, my Uncle Saul Israel is his name. Dies of I think it was a liver, part of his liver. And it was just sad because, you know what, I didn't see him often enough at the end. The guy was a little bit like my father, and two tough cookies, you know, and they've done it, they've seen it, they know it, up to a certain point, but they couldn't show certain things, but just two great 531 says ace, and it's just so perfect for them. 531, 13, 12, 2. They're just two fantastic people that they I don't know if people, it's hard for people to see it, but you know what? He really lets go when the crowd it's his crowd. He's really good. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these people. There's absolutely nothing. They're just really amazing because they don't decide for you. They get mad and frustrated when they see, oh my God, this guy's got so much potential, and oh my God, it bothers me so much. So instead of showing the love out and heavenly because the guy won't try and do change, you know, for the better of himself, that, you know what, that's what happens to us in some people, and it happens to all of us. It even happens to me. But with this situation, I'm involved in it, okay? And my uncle, I see he needed to live that old style world. He just couldn't see this retarded world that we were in. And it's funny, his brother's my father, and he sees the same thing but on a different level because he has 10 grandchildren. And my father's is like, you know what, and sort of my brother is reminding me of my father now, the way they're both like ready to start breakfast up for everybody and do everything for everybody, and it's almost like it doesn't look like it's reality. And I can't include myself. I'm not allowed to say. The only thing I can do with myself is to put myself down. You have to make a reason for you to put me back up. And why would I put myself down? Because either A, you might say I don't like, well that means you don't like my video. Because you can't hate what I'm talking about, except right now you can actually hate. It's not really stupidity, but I'm trying to make a fun sense about a disaster in time we're about to run into. Dry this out. After you dry this out, you see the whole thing about smoking is taking in that air. Once you dry that out, if you want to know the mix, you're going to have to ask me. Because the reality of the mix comes from a simple company's name, and the simple company's name actually says Noah. Put it together. So now what we're going to stand is, how do we get the letter A? One of the ways to get the letter A is to run the letter A from this area here to this area here. What is this? This would be the roulette wheel. Where on the roulette, the space is not square. I can make it square to write all the names down that come out of the roulette wheel that I've shown off a few times, which is right there on the floor. Can you see that? Oh, let me see. Oh, it's very dark. Hold on a second. Let me grab the light again. See that? That's the roulette wheel over there. Those are the numbers. And every number is special. Okay? Because what dice do I have? There's a 5. And that's a 6. Do you know 5 and 6 is the only way? 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is the only way to get an 11 on the dice. The opposition of 5 and 6 in the dice are 1 and 2. 1, 2, 2, 1. December 21st, 2012. Because that's what the dice do. The only way to get 11 on the dice, like if somebody wants to know right now, like I was talking first of all about connecting those squares, but right now, I mean, I don't always run into this. I forget, I come back, I go on, I remember. Somebody comes on, asks me a question, it's something I did last year, so I remember, and they help me. By any question somebody asks, you're helping me to go back into my past of something that I may have done, or something now that you ask me that I've never done, now I can do it and can know it. And before I didn't know it, if it wasn't for you, thank you. Oh, this is just so exciting, it's crazy. But at the same time, while you're saying this to me, I'm going, oh yeah, I heard that on the radio, so I shut off the radio. No TV, I don't want to hear anything, because every time I hear something, there's something to do. Write this down here, write this down here, and I can't make a just for it because there's too much at one time. It's like throwing everything into the middle and say, who threw most water? And the water already landed on the floor, and I said, she did. And why would you say that? I said, because everybody's holding a fork. Ha 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 ha. So, I showed you that roulette. And not only that, the dice, there's 2 dice. You have 2 dice, you have 3 dice. Why are we playing with a 6-sided? Why don't we play with a dice of an 8-sided, somebody might say. Okay, let's play with the deck of the cards. Deck of the cards, they got ace to 10. Well, let's play the 13. They got jack, queen, king. 13 cards. You want to go with the Mayan calendar? Let's go with the Mayan calendar. You want to go with the shape and the division of how the piano is and all the letters and the reality of the letters. Not A to C, but A to G. First section, A to G. Second section, A to G. No. The first section from A to G is 0. You know why? It needs 2 numbers. It comes from both sides of the board. It's last and it's first. So we have to use 0A, 0B, 0C, then we'd have center C, CC, ABC. See, if we had the same letters all the time, I can't even explain that. No, I'm not going there. Okay, let me just do something next. So with this, what happens, if you want to draw the letter A, it'll start off in the top box here, it'll come all the way to here, and it'll stop. Now you are going to obligation, okay, is to start this in order to get into this corner. I'm going to have to show you it down here. Okay, in order for me to bring this one down and this one down,
How do I cross a line to make an 8? Well, if I brought it from here, okay, if I brought it from here, this is what would happen. I would get an X, okay? Now this is box 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 5, 2, 4, 66. First square. Like I said, it really bugs me. Rectangles, triangles, 45-degree triangles. Third level, third level, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Or it's actually 22 and a half minutes. 22 and a half minutes, 7.5 minutes, 22.5 minutes, 45 degrees, 45 times 3 equals 345. And you know what 345 is? After you do 2, 3, 4, then after you do 3, 4, 5, that's when you get it, right after that. So you look at the numbers and you say, okay, this is where it comes from. Now I know I'm not saying much, but it's so exciting inside of me. I feel it, I see it. I know everything goes in its own place. When you work thing, oh, a secretarial group would be so good right here. Maybe I'm talking off the top of my head. Maybe I won't go any further than I am if I had a few extra people. Secretary doesn't mean woman. But everybody says, oh yeah, I heard you say that. Oh, and I remember what I said and you said, and we're just like this big piece of a puzzle, and I'm just more like the motor to it than anything, and we're all actually alike at one point, and all I do is keep motoring on or furthering your thoughts as you further my thoughts. Maybe I'd just be looked at as a little faster. Maybe we'll all be exactly the same, but our questions will be different. We'll all have a question. And we'll all have a different way of doing a mathematical equation, and there's no such thing as leaving anything out, except we have to try to remember. If we have too many answers for the same specific thing, and too many primary answers, and it has to be extensions, then all we are going to be doing is doing things in between. Like instead of just saying 1 and 2, and say 1, 2, 3, 1A, 1B, 1C, we would actually say 1A, 1B, 1C, 1.5 ABC. We can't do that. We have to go at 1, and then 2, and all the way to 9, and then different sections in each one. So anyways, I showed you here on this, okay? Now what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go on here, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go here, okay, and I have to cut this angle here, and I have to cut this angle here. So as I cut this angle here, okay, I'm going to try and do it with, no. Do I have something that's, I do with this. So what I did is, I went from here all the way to here, and I went from here all the way to here. Now the question is, the amount of space between here and here, where does my A have to start? How would I create the A in this scenario? And if you notice, I started on top. Do I go down one line? Do I actually start like this? Let me show you the 4 corners. It would be an I and I to connect the two sides. You must always connect the two sides and understand how your two sides go through. See the way I connect my two sides over here? Now my question is, where do I split the ace? Maybe this is not the game I should be using, but since it is, do I start with my leg down here and my 2 arms over here? Do you see the way it is? My 2 arms, my 2 legs over here, I'm ready to go down. Imagine if the bars weren't completely across and there was only pegs on each side. Short sticks, you understand? Digitals, short sticks. So you climb down here, see what his other legs are all the way down here? Okay, probably the machine, however it works, I don't know. Where do we get A? Is X the first letter created? Or is half this box the A? Half this box, because you need to do the 2 angles. You can do it across, but you're getting the angles only. You can see the sword when you start creating your letters. You understand what I'm saying? I was on fire. Did I give any sort of complete definition of explanation at any point during this video? Yet? Because I ain't done. The last part is probably the best part. I'm just going to make you aware right now. You know what's funny? 25 times 3 equals 75. 25 is Jack, Earth, Heart. Okay? Add the electronic world connection onto it and you get ice on. Is the ice on? Is the ace on? Is it Effingham? Effingham? Abraham? The pig? How they control our minds in this world. Take a look at your head. And I've listened to so many people say all these things, so what I'm going to tell you right now has nothing to do with me figuring it out. Somebody else has already figured this out. If they would have never asked the question, maybe I wouldn't be asking this question. But they say there's two sides to the hemispheres, and I go like this. Good luck. I can make like the whole world's a joke, because I'm a spirit. The only thing that can ever happen bad to me is it can hurt for a little bit of time, or I would suffer. But eventually, after suffering, if you want to leave fast enough, your spirit may be able to help you out of the suit you are in. Maybe that's what our dilemma is. Maybe we would have had a choice. God, I no longer like it on this earth. Can you please take me away? And they wrote songs about that. And God, I no longer want to be on this earth. Can you take me away? And you know what? Wake up, man! He says, yeah. He says, you want to leave life? He says, are you kidding? He says, my spirit comes out of my head and goes, hey, left testicle, move over. I'm moving in. We're going to start having fun in this life. He wants to come back. I didn't enjoy my full stay. I'm a pirate. I'm in your head and it's all me, 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 and me. I make you, I manipulate you to do whatever I want you to do. You're in my head. Oh, yeah, you're in my head, eh? Oh, all right. It's starting to feel good now. But we can't do this, and I don't like this. You must harmonize. Put up. But how long? When? Isn't it retarded that we are trying to still harmonize life to feed the poor? Because we haven't been able to find a solution? I passed school with an undergraduate's degree, and what that actually means, it doesn't mean that I didn't graduate, because I did graduate. I went back for English. But I could tell you that my average in school was somewhere in the 30s. That's because I was probably, what do you think, stoned all the time? Oh, it was only at the end that I ever smoked. And no, I was just like saying, hey man, what is this shit going on right now? Why are they asking me this question? Why don't they teach me why they're asking me? The calendar has 12 months. And because of the I and I, we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is 6. But here we got 12 months. Why? 2 pieces here, and there's going to be 2 pieces here. 2 and 2 is 4. Don't count the floor. So if this is the floor, automatically this line goes across. And don't forget what's going across is nothing is touching, because it's a weave. It's a weave. And it's the cuivre that does this. The copper weave, I do not understand or know. The copper, the carbon weave may be part of our DNA. I did not get into the blood yet, but I know I'm going to have so much fun playing with the blood. What color is the blood? What color is the air? Oh my God, we're going to get into the blood and elements and all kinds of stuff. I don't even know. I'm going to go make fun of it and then figure out something that makes sense. I'll just add the letters. B-L-O-O-D. 30 for creation in the center. Could be the month of April, 30 days. Could be the month of February, 2. Could be November 11, 1 and 1 is 2. You got 2, 4, 2. Wow, 4 by 2, 4 plus 2 is 6 and 8 is 14 on both sides, 14, 14. You're in the cross. 28 is the center. 5, 28. You have 1 and 4, 28, and you have 1 and 4. 1 and 4 is 5, 28 equals 10, equals 7. So now over here you have your 8, 7, 8. 8 by 7 is 56 and 56. Here comes Planet X and Ison on the outside. They're all part of some sort of organization of names. Not sure if it's a ship. No, I didn't see it. All I know is I heard people are talking about it. That's all I have to know is the hearsay. Once you got the hearsay, you throw it around and you see what it can actually really mean that you're saying. I just fooled around and I made this big X over here. I made a square, the same thing as the roulette table. I put it in one corner, 4 spaces, and right away I get the British flag. A point not to break into rule in order to connect. You see the way this goes down here? This V is up here. This is supposed to make an X, but we're on a slant. See the way it's slanted over here and then one slanted over here? It couldn't land on top because if it did, it was in a different disposition. Don't forget the X is because both sides can lean over. This V can come this way, this V can come this way. In between here is only space. You have 1 and 1 is suspension to hold it up. It only can come back so far. Unless this V here and this V here only have enough space that this V here only goes halfway through these 2 V's, recreating your third letter of your K, and then underneath and in between it'll be an X standing very close, but just in the middle of the line of these 2 V's over here. Here's your comma, 9 and 0. Put them next to the V, you got your X. Turn it to the side, and you got your planet X. Here's the wolf. It's an anvil. The horseshoe anvil, there's a reason for everything. The horses are around, and they're at the glue factory. But their noses are large, and they gained the horsepower, but all I saw was a Pontiac. Mustang Chevrolet. Tries means 13. If you want to see something funny, it almost looks like the Mug and David, but all I really wanted to do is I designed one letter, the V upside down to an A. When I took this V upside down to an A, I tried to create a V inside to create a K, but it already had a bar on the top, so it creates an R. Automatically, I create a circle between the next one, which is an open face C, and it creates the O, the X, the F, and the E. So what do you have over here? You have X, O, and you have, I can't really see what this next letter was, but anyways, I don't want to even talk about that. Here's another thing. Here's the M, where the V comes into the center. Why? Because to build this M here, we started with this one over here. It was a number 1 and it touched the box. The box is a doorway. You can't block the doorway. And up here, and it's a doorway again. See the hole inside there? Like wings, like a butterfly has to come in here. And if you ever look, the V, it's on top of the cards in the deck of cards we play. So then you put this one on top of here, and then you put this one down here. You see where it's 888? You see the V where we finished off the feet became X's? This is a suspension, where this world and this world will suspend together coming into this world here, creating 3 marks in the center. When these 3 marks come in the center, this is the passage of the norm. You see this part over here? I want to see if I have it in here. La da 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 da. Give me a second. Give me a second. I have it. I just don't remember what it was. Wow. Just give me a second. Okay, those points. Oh, yes, okay, I see it. Okay, I see it. Here it is. There's more than one place for it. See this card? See this here on his sleeve? See this over here on his sleeve? See this on his sleeve right over here? Look at it carefully. Okay, it's like a wolf. It's like a mask. I'm going to show you where that mask comes from. If you take a look over here, it's the 6-point star. 2 X's, X-O-X, 3939. Okay, it's many things that you want to look at. It's here, it's actually the knees. The knees are hitting the knees. So the knees must be hitting the air, because at every moment that you walk, it's another part of your body. Oh, all your joints. I'm going to tell you right now, you got a problem with your joints, okay? Your joints are used for communication. And there's other places. Every part of your joints is communication with spirit right now, I'm telling you. It's a way into this world. It burns out. It wasn't made to last. Do I make any sense at all? It doesn't matter. I know it. I believe it, and I thought of it before. What I'm going to show you is this. See this over here? Doesn't it show the Israeli star? Right over here? Between the X's. Before it was just the M, the passage. Suspension, X, O, X holding up each other. just like I showed you in one of the other scenarios. Here's the mask. It's to cover up. You see the X that's over here? See the sign that's over here? I'm going to try and see if I can show you one of the cards that's like that. It's right here. Right here. See the mask? See the mask? Hold it. Yeah, you're absolutely right, John. Absolutely right, John. Anybody can draw that. I could have drawn it before. We're not looking if I drew it before. We're not looking for art lessons. We're looking to see whether or not it looks like that. I mean, I saw a guy running down the street last week. Well, what do you look like? Well, I told you I saw a guy. That's what he looked like, a guy. Figure out the rest. Yellow. Okay. What are we going to go to next? The word 13 in French is treize. It also pronounces the same sound as the Z, as 11 says onze, and then you say 12 and says douze, onze, douze, treize, quatorze, quinze, size. These are all French words, but the minute you get to 17, 18, 19 is very special in French, because they say two words. They say 10 plus the number. 10, 7. 18. So now, why? My brother-in-law mentioned to me again. Why is the 7 and the 8 September and why is September say 7 and why does October say 8? Well, they're actually saying July and August, the 7th and 8th month. So then, why is September? Because the month of the scepter, the first month, the S, the 1 and 9, is 19. It is the first one on the second side of the roulette board. On the first side of the roulette board, it ends with 17 black, 18 red, total of 35. But it begins with 19 and 20. And 19 and 20 would absolutely make it into the months of September and October. Now, I'd have to rethink that one. I know I'm correct, but I know there was some buzzing going around in my head as I was trying to keep up to what I... See, I told you something that I knew, but instead of going... Usually, I'll break it down, and then I'll think about it, how it came to be, and to know it well, but now I don't know it well, and I told you an answer that it could be offset a little bit. Would it make it the greatest of all differences? I'll tell you one thing, for me, the minute there's a difference, it's the greatest. So then we have 17, 18, right? We were talking about 7 and 8, because forget about 1. 1 is the first part, 2 is the second part, 3 is the third part, and 3 only starts at 30 and ends at 36. That's it. Creation you see roulette? We stopped at 36. It stops. We have 0 and 00 because it's now combinations. You're only in one Robin world. That's why they have 2 different games and 2 different boards at the same time. Somehow they're going to come out with a new roulette game. I know it. I see it right now, and I can't be wrong because it will happen. I mean, I see it right now that Matrix run 2 games. They're going to have to splice a game into 4 and put the pieces and parts of each one. You'll only have 36 numbers, but if you had more numbers, where else was I? I was creating the letter G, so I put this line in here. It was supposed to be this way. See, the G goes up this way, this way. Anyways, what letters should say? I showed you letters. When you put certain letters together, they create different designs. Oh yeah, here's one little thing I saw. If we took this and looked at it as the M letter, then the O letter, then the I letter, it would say me. This is what recreates and connects the center letters. You can put a line across the center once you create one of these X's, like this one over here. You cannot draw offline, there must have a direction already. See over here, this was the I. I made a line this way, it became the E. It's also the H, and it makes E and E. and I and H. So you can put all those together. Forgiveness, sins. Because when you read N-E-S-S at the end, it says S-E-N-S. It's like a sin. Instead of S-I-N-S, it's S-N-E-S-S. Sin. The nay of birth is the gateway to the waker-upper world. That's what they say, hit him in the noggin. The E and F letter, not only do they make 11, but they're the next two letters in which DE makes 9 and EF make 11 that will connect two sides of the board between 9 and 11, and at the same time are the 6th and 5th letters. They can go onto a dice cube, 6 and 1 and 5 and 2. So now we have to go 6 and 1, 5 and 2, 512, and B. 612, 615, 1 and 2 is 3, 6 and 5 is 11, 1 and 2 is 2. We end up with 32. The back door to memory, somehow, back door to memory. Earth, Mars. 5 and 1 is Mars, 5 and 2 is Earth, 1 and 2 is Mercury and Venus. But don't trick yourself, because Mercury owns Venus. This 1 and 2 is a 3. This is 5 and 3. Okay, I don't care if that's what it is. 4 sins, if you want to say sins or you want to say nines. Anyways, the word 4 is valued at 60, right? 4 is valued at 60. And 60, 0 equals 6, 4 equals 66, and 66 equals to 3. So 4 equals to 3, creation. And Mars is the sandbox for the brain, and prism, the prison for Earth, because that's what it is. For life. Your mind, your body is connected to your mind for life. So if they tell your body is subject to jail, your mind goes into the jailhouse with you, but it's not subject to anything other than what it can create for the better. It's the worst feeling in the world, let me tell you. It's a terrible feeling. But the mind does not have to be in jail. It's a hard thing to look over. It's a hard thing to look over. It's a hard thing to look, but that's what it is. To get denied, to deny the soul life. The spirit is all the memory. The soul is the instant and forgotten memory. The soul retains only for today, and things resonate in your bones. The other thing about 65, it creates 30 for creation. 30 becomes 36, and 36 becomes the letter R. I and R for third. Third, why? 6, 6, 6 is where the letter R comes from, and it comes from 6 and 5. And when you play craps in the game of craps, you win on 6 and 5, and the opposition to 6 and 5 is 1 and 2, or is 1, 2, 1. All about the connection back to the Mayan. Because on each level, no matter what you do, there's a Mayan instruction on each level. So when we come to the last level of level 6, and we haven't touched whichever level we have, I said we're going to the 6th level, but we're not going to the number 6 level. We're going only to the numbers, how many we're done. So the Mayans stick their head in there somewhere. They are the combination lock between this world and the other world. The way this world was written, the Bibles, the printers, the this and that, it was made for this world, for man. Did it ever happen? I believe it did. May have been long, long, long time ago, maybe 7,000 years ago, but Volume 2. Volume 2 was 300 million years ago. In Volume 9, that was 100 million years ago. So like Earth went over and over and over, and they're picking different periods of time and things they could have did over time to entrap the same people in lives, in histories. I mean, the only people that are doing it for the first time is the actual new spirit, but the situation has already happened before. I mean, you need a program. Everything's got to run on some sort of a program. Like I was saying before, in the year 5775, in order to get 75 times 3, it'll be 3 times 25. In order to get 57 by 3, it'll be 3 times 19. And that'll equal 5775, and that's the calendar year we fall into next year, in which 5775 minus 7286 equals to 1,151 equals to 1,511, which is KO, knockout. It also can equal to 1521, which was Mars-Earth before, because when this all began, the year was 5765 for me. So it's also 1521. Now, the other thing this is this is how many years to go. But the other thing about this is, in reverse, 5775 minus 2005 is 50773. Now, 7286 minus 2005 is 1825. When this began for me, it was in the year 5765, so it would equal to 1521. 1511 would be next year. This is the dog pound. Mars, one spirit, one soul. Mars, the life. 15 is the egg. Didn't matter which way I hung it or hung it upside down. It's 1151 or it's 1511. Now we can get into that and see what it is. Let's split this apart. This 5 times 1, 5 plus 1 equals 11. So we end up with all ones. 51, 52, 51. This is Mars, and with 2 Earth moons and Earth, and the 1 moon of Earth, or the spirit and the soul. Again, it doesn't say much. It says 26, but it means transmission because it comes out to the letter T. T is the end of the game. 20. Stop. 20 is the stopper. Okay? Because one side, there's the transmission between both sides, right? You have to stop at the T. T20 equals to 0 equals 6, and 8 equals 20 and 14. And 14. Do you see it? 0 equals 15. 1 plus 5, 1 times 5 equals 11. 2011. 0 equals 1 plus 5 is 6, but the opposition to 0 is 8. Man of heaven, the totality. Like the presidency. It's the first year of the presidency of 4 more years. So I put the total of what the two sides say. If it was this side or the other side, the end would be 2014. It would say TZ. It would say TZ. What would it say? What would it say if I put the T next to the N? Would it say something different? Let me see. What does it look like? That's what it looks like. What is it? K in this corner, K in this corner, 7-11 in between. I'm not really sure. What is this design? This is the design, what comes out of the numbers. Numbers and letters. Anyways, this says 10. This can say Tennessee, which is the orange. Maybe all our life we were playing orange and red in Monopoly, and Tennessee is as far back as we can go. 25, what I said before, 3 by 25 is 75, 3 by 19. 25 and 19 is 44. Isn't that the time we are in? Wow, it's an hour, and I didn't even get out to what I wanted to finish with. So I'm going to stop this video here. I have another video coming up soon.